A voice silenced, a nation left reeling, and a conversation that refuses to fade away. The final provocation of Charlie Kirk. In the final chapter of his life, Kirk's words would echo far beyond the walls of any auditorium. Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, was a master provocateur in American political commentary. He built his reputation on challenging the status quo, never shying away from controversy or difficult conversations. In his final days, Kirk ignited a national debate, not about policy, but about the very fabric of American society. He questioned the direction of the country, focusing his attention on the life path of young American women and the choices they face in a rapidly changing world. He argued that society had misled women, urging them to reconsider the modern emphasis on career achievement. Kirk insisted that fulfillment could be found in what he called their essential roles as wives and mothers, roles he believed had been unfairly devalued. His comments, broadcast on a major news network, sparked fierce support and condemnation. The nation watched as social media exploded with passionate arguments, and television panels dissected his every word, exposing a deep and painful cultural divide. Days later, tragedy struck. Kirk was assassinated during a university speech, his life cut short in a moment that left the conversation unfinished and the nation in shock. The event sent ripples through every corner of the country, leaving many to wonder what might have been said next. His final statements became a permanent part of his legacy, ensuring the debate would continue long after his voice was silenced. News outlets replayed his words, and his message became a rallying cry for some, a warning for others. This essay explores Kirk's controversial views, the context in which they were delivered, and the powerful reactions they provoked across the political spectrum. We examine not just the man, but the movement he inspired and the questions he forced into the open. The goal, to understand the enduring questions about life, family, and fulfillment that Kirk's final act forced into the national spotlight, and to consider what his legacy means for the future of American discourse. At the center of the firestorm was Kirk's uncompromising message, a message that sparked heated debates and drew sharp lines between supporters and critics alike. Kirk's words resonated across social media, talk shows, and college campuses, igniting conversations about the future of young women in society. He argued that young women should prioritize family over career, suggesting that fulfillment and happiness are most often found in the home, surrounded by loved ones. According to Kirk, the modern push for women to chase professional success comes at the expense of deeper, more lasting joys that family life can offer. He insisted there's a limited window for marriage and children, best seized in one's 20s. Kirk emphasized that biology and time wait for no one, and that delaying these milestones could lead to regret later in life. He painted a vivid picture of missed opportunities and the emotional cost of postponing family. Kirk framed this as a fulfilling path, not a restriction, and warned that delaying family was a risky gamble with lasting consequences. He described the traditional family structure as a source of strength, stability, and purpose, offering young women a sense of belonging and meaning that, he argued, careers rarely provide. He contrasted young men who valued legacy and family with women he claimed were steered toward careerism and loneliness. Kirk suggested that while men are encouraged to build and provide, women are increasingly told to compete in the workplace, often at the cost of personal happiness and connection. Using stark statistics, he urged women to trade feminism for femininity, arguing that modern feminism had stripped women of their unique strengths. He claimed that the movement, while promising empowerment, had instead left many women feeling unfulfilled and disconnected from their natural roles. Kirk's vision was a return to traditional gender roles, men as providers, women as nurturers. He believed that embracing these roles would restore balance to families and society, creating environments where both men and women could thrive in their distinct complementary ways. He saw the push for women in the corporate world as a mistake, harming both women and society. Kirk argued that the stress, isolation, and burnout experienced by many professional women were symptoms of a deeper problem, a society that undervalues the importance of motherhood and home life. His call to action was clear: reject the modern script and embrace the timeless role of wife and mother before it's too late. Kirk urged young women to reconsider what truly matters, to find pride and purpose in nurturing the next generation, and to reclaim the value of family as the foundation of a meaningful life. Kirk was strategic, choosing platforms that amplified his message to both loyal followers and a national audience. He understood that in today's media landscape, the messenger is often as important as the message itself. By carefully selecting where and how he appeared, Kirk ensured that his ideas would not only reach those who already supported him, but also spark debate among those who might disagree. His appearance on the Ingraham Angle on Fox News brought his views to millions, stating bluntly, "Having children is more important than having a good career." This statement, delivered on one of the most watched cable news shows in America, was designed to provoke a reaction. It was a calculated risk, knowing that such a bold claim would ignite conversation not just in conservative circles, but across the political spectrum. This moment transformed his argument from a niche talking point to a national controversy. Suddenly, social media was buzzing, news outlets were debating his words, and people at home were discussing the merits and drawbacks of his perspective. The ripple effect was immediate and widespread, drawing attention from both supporters and critics. Before Fox, Kirk honed his message at Turning Point USA's Young Women's Leadership Summit, urging attendees to focus on marriage and motherhood. These events served as a testing ground, allowing him to refine his arguments and gauge the response from a younger, more impressionable audience. He tailored his speeches to resonate with their concerns, emphasizing traditional values as a path to fulfillment. These events created a sense of community for young women questioning the modern feminist path. For many, it was the first time they'd heard someone challenge the prevailing narrative about career and independence. Kirk's message offered an alternative vision, one that prioritized family and tradition over professional ambition. The enthusiastic reception at his events fueled his confidence to take the message mainstream. The applause and support he received convinced him that there was a hunger for this kind of conversation, and that his ideas could resonate far beyond the walls of a conference hall. The Fox appearance, in turn, validated his status as a leading conservative voice. It signaled to both allies and adversaries that Kirk was not just a fringe commentator, but a figure capable of shaping national discourse. His presence on such a prominent platform gave his message legitimacy and reach. Kirk's media strategy was calculated for maximum impact, solidifying his base and challenging critics. Every interview, every soundbite, was part of a larger plan to influence the conversation and push his traditionalist agenda into the mainstream. He worked closely with his team to craft talking points and anticipate backlash, ensuring he was always prepared for tough questions. His words were not a random outburst, but the culmination of months of careful messaging. Behind the scenes, Kirk and his advisors analyzed trends, studied audience reactions, and fine-tuned their approach. Every public statement was deliberate, designed to maximize attention and provoke thought. He aimed to disrupt the mainstream conversation and force a reckoning with his traditionalist perspective. By sparking controversy and commanding attention, Kirk ensured that his message would not be easily ignored, but instead become a focal point in the ongoing debate about culture, family, and the future of American values. Ironically, Laura Ingraham, host of the show where Kirk made his comments, exemplifies a different path. Ingraham built a powerful career in media and politics, achieving success through decades of work. She never married, but adopted 3 children in her late 40s and 50s, becoming a single mother. Her life shows that motherhood and career can coexist, even if not in the traditional sequence Kirk prescribed. The interview's dynamic was striking, Kirk advocating early marriage and motherhood, while Ingraham's own life silently countered his argument. Ingraham's story complicates the debate, proving fulfillment can be found outside traditional timelines. Her example doesn't negate Kirk's concerns about biology, but broadens the conversation. It's a real-world case study that challenges any one-size-fits-all prescription for women's happiness. Despite backlash, Kirk's message resonated with many who saw it as an affirmation of traditional values. They believe the nuclear family is the cornerstone of society, and that distinct gender roles are natural and beneficial. For some, the pressure to have it all leads to burnout. Kirk's advice to prioritize family first offers relief and clarity. Concerns about declining birth rates and social fragmentation make his message feel urgent and practical. Many see raising children as a high calling, more meaningful than any corporate title. Kirk's words validated women who prioritize family, offering purpose in a world that often devalues traditional roles. For these followers, he wasn't restricting women, he was offering a path to fulfillment. Critics of Kirk's views called them outdated and harmful to women's progress. They argue that a woman's right to choose her own path, career, family, or both, is fundamental. For many, a career is about fulfillment, identity, and independence, not just money. Financial autonomy is crucial for safety and equality, especially in uncertain relationships. Economic realities often require two incomes, making Kirk's advice impractical for many families. Critics say fulfillment comes from having options, not being pushed into a single role. True freedom, they argue, is the ability to define success and happiness individually. A strong society empowers all its members to pursue their unique talents and dreams. Data reveals young women's lives today are vastly different from past generations, both supporting and challenging Kirk's arguments. The median age for marriage and first-time motherhood has risen to the late 20s, as women pursue education and careers. Many women prioritize professional development in their 20s, delaying family life. However, fertility does decline with age, making Kirk's warnings about timing relevant. Research shows mothers still shoulder most childcare, even with careers, leading to stress and setbacks. The have-it-all ideal is often more complicated than it appears. Kirk's sequential path, family first, career later, appeals to some as a way to avoid constant juggling. The data shows no easy answers, only real trade-offs and challenges for women today. The debate Kirk sparked ended abruptly with his assassination at Utah Valley University. He was shot during a speech, the act immediately investigated as a political assassination. The killing shocked the nation, highlighting the dangers of escalating political tensions. Leaders across the spectrum condemned the violence, mourning the loss of a controversial but vital voice. The tragedy overshadowed the debate about women and family, shifting focus to the health of American democracy. Kirk is survived by his wife and two children, adding a personal dimension to his final advocacy for family. The conversation he started now continues in the shadow of his violent death. Kirk's death didn't resolve the debate, it made the questions more urgent. His vision offers security and purpose for some, but isn't the only path to fulfillment. The alternative, prioritizing career and independence, brings its own rewards and challenges. The real question, must women choose or can they blend both paths? Achieving both often requires compromise, support, and societal change. There's no single right answer. Each woman's journey is unique. The questions Kirk raised remain for every woman to answer for herself, shaping the future of family, work, and fulfillment.